What's up, Broncos country? It's through the Bronco, and I'm back with another with an update um on this coaching search. So bear with me, y'all. Let me while I get to this. And it's been a busy week. It's been a busy week in Broncos country. Okay, now y'all know Jim Harbaugh. He was supposed to interview earlier, late, they said earlier, but it was possibly like later on in this week. But he actually interviewed Monday, virtually. So and reported, you know, uh, it was reported that he's like one of the favorites. And Pro Football Talks, Mike Florio tweeted, Jim Harbaugh, next Broncos coach, with a gift saying, book it. Um, so Jim Harbaugh interviewed virtually for 2 hours, probably 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. But he was the first one. And I'm gonna get with the I'm gonna just name the people who interviewed this week, and then I'll go back and talk a little bit about them. So first one was Jim Harbaugh. That was Monday. And then on Tuesday, we had the Broncos defensive coordinator, Ejiro Evero. Uh, he interviewed in house because they could do that because he was in the building. So he interviewed in person. They didn't really say if it went all right or what, but I guess it probably did. And he has a lot of coaching interest as well. Getting back to that as we go on. Now, there's been like a couple monkey wrenches thrown in the game right now because it was two coaches unknown, but it probably has been known in like in several other people's when they guessing, and just all they were doing probably was guesstimating, but this wasn't listed under the coaches that Denver was gonna interview. So on Wednesday, they actually did two interviews. The first one was former Detroit Lions and Indianapolis head coach Jim Caldwell, and it was in person. And Jim Caldwell, he's a good coach. He's known to turn football teams around. But I'm gonna get to that. Let me just mention the last one. The former one, he came out of nowhere. Um, Former Stanford football coach David Shaw. Now I can start talking about these candidates a little bit. I'm gonna start from the bottom on up. Start with David Shaw. David Shaw, he's been known, man. He coached in the NFL for a while, in the '90s to the 2000 early 2000s, I guess, somewhere around there. Um, I read it, so but he was with a few teams. He had he had success, but he was a coordinator. So if he get this job, this would be his first time being a head coach in the NFL. But he had interest before. He had a lot of interest before from a lot of other NFL teams. He just never did. He just never really wanted to take that jump. You know what I mean? He just never really wanted to take that jump. but now he has interest, and he's still young. He's only 50 years old. So, and then it's interesting because he has ties to Jim Harbaugh. He um, he coached with Jim Harbaugh at San Diego, and he also coached with Jim Harbaugh at Stanford. So, and then they got that Stanford connection there. So now when we look at David Shaw, is it something like Mike Munchak when he interviewed for the Broncos job? You know how how Vic Fangio got hired and they brought him in as the O line offensive line coordinator. It could be makes sense. It makes sense. Being that David Shaw and John Harbaugh coached together before, so it does make sense. Now Jim Caldwell, he I like Jim Caldwell. It's Peyton Manning boy. He coached Peyton Manning. Excuse me. He coached Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. So, and Jim Caldwell, he's also known as a quarterback whisperer. Look, when he was in Detroit, he turned Detroit around. Detroit made the playoffs, you know, like 3 of his 4 seasons there. So he helped Matthew Stafford out a lot. And when he left, that's when they hired Matt Patricia. And we all saw how that worked out in Detroit with Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia didn't win no more than I forgot how many games. So maybe 3, 4, maybe 6 games with Detroit. That ain't good. Now we going to the them Broncos defensive coordinator, Ejiro Rivero. He's a good name too because he's also connected with Jim Harbaugh. You know what I mean? Because he actually coached with Jim Harbaugh when Jim Harbaugh was in San Francisco. But Ejiro Rivero, if if he doesn't get a head coaching job this off season this go round, he'll be a hot candidate next year. And then Denver really want him to want to keep him around in some capacity, if not as a head coach. Back as a defensive coordinator, and that could be a possibility. You know what I mean? If they hire, it could be a possibility if Denver, you know, uh, hires Jim Harbaugh. But Evero, he has the Colts have requested an interview, but he interviewed with the Colts Thursday. I mean, he interviewed with the Colts Thursday, and I think he's going to interview with the Texans today, if I'm correct. So those are the 2 teams that have interest in him, and him being they head coach. Man, now we gonna get to Jim Harbaugh. But this off season is gonna be something to watch, man. Something to watch. It's gonna be a fun off season. Off seasons, all the off season, and there's no off season in the NFL because they work year round. So they just call the off season because I guess the players, they go their own way. They have their little vacations with their family, and things like that nature. So, but Jim Harbaugh, he won he won everywhere he was at. He won in San Diego. He won in he won at Michigan. Took the leap back to the NFL. I mean, when he came to the NFL, San Francisco, the 49ers, they was a mess. They was a complete mess. They had I can't even count how many losing seasons they had. Probably what about 8 losing seasons already. He turned Jim Harbaugh. He turned them around just like with a snap of a finger. Like in his first year, with him, they went 13-3 in San Fran. You know, and they uh they won the they won their division about every year since Harbaugh was there. They won their division, which is what the NFC West. Yeah, they won that division for as long as Harbaugh was there. Harbaugh took them to a Super Bowl. Even though they lost that Super Bowl, but it was funny because that's the Super Bowl that he played against the Baltimore Ravens. Going against his brother Jim Harbaugh. That was a Super Bowl of the brothers. Super Bowl of the brothers. But you know, but it's been a report out there that Jim Harbaugh was a front runner for a long time, for a little while right now. But then I forgot what I read this morning. They they're saying Sean Payton is the front runner right now. But Sean Payton has a bunch of other teams, to interview for, and what's that? The Cardinals and the Texans. But do we want to go to the Cardinals? I don't know. All they got is Kyler Murray, and a lot of people saying now when they gave Kyler Murray a mess, when that contract extension, he's been a mess. They say all that money created a monster in them. Who knows? You know what I mean? We'll see. And then I know he don't want to go to the Texans. They fired Lovie Smith just because he won that game against the Colts. Won the last game. So what? Y'all didn't get a first round pick, but y'all picked a second. I mean, Chicago's not gonna take a quarterback. They're gonna build around Justin Fields or maybe go defensive. Who knows? But they ain't gonna take a quarterback. They got Justin Fields. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't take a quarterback and I got Justin Fields. I would have to give that boy a chance. So more or less they're gonna build around him. So that means even sitting at two, I mean, they're gonna be sitting at two. They're gonna have the quarterback of their choice. There's gonna be a lot of good quarterbacks, but in this draft, but Bryce Young is the prize. Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. But who knows who they might want Stroud. But if they pick in second, they got the pick of the litter. They might go with Bryce Young. Who knows? I'm not there. I'm not in Chicago. I don't bring Chicago news, but just had to, just had to talk about that because all that's related to Sean Payton. But little news on a little bit of other teams ain't gonna hurt now and then. It's not gonna hurt my channel. But in Jim Harbaugh, it's a lot of things going on about him, saying that he doesn't stay too well long. Will that change if he get the Bronco job? Who knows? But who knows? But I'd rather have a winner. You know what I mean? I'll take a winner over anybody, and he's a proven winner. And that's what the Broncos need. I mean, he's an old time, old fashioned coach, but he's also kind of a player's coach. He does things his way. He often switches it up, and that's good because by you switching shit up like that, it'll keep the players on their toes because it's not the same. It's always something different, and that's another way of how you keep your players' interest. So, but Harbaugh got to be the one, man. He has to be. And the last game, that Monday, when they come clean out their locker rooms and all that other stuff, they have their end of the year meeting with George Payton and you know, the media got to him, got the vibes out of the locker room. Everybody in the locker room was basically on the same page, like, what I mean, the next head coach. We want to come in, man. We want to win them, man. We don't care what kind, what. We just want to win them, man. We want somebody that's a winner, cause that's what they need in that locker room, man. They don't need no first time head coach. You know what I mean? Denver tried it. We went 3 years back to back. Well, not 3 years back to back, but you know, we had three different head coaches, and they was all first time head coaches. Starting with Vance Joseph, Vic Fangio, and now the Mr. Smiley, Happy Go Lucky, Nathaniel Hackett. We don't need that in Broncos country. I mean, it was a good vibe in the first when Hackett first came. It was a good vibe. I guess everybody thought he was going to bring A Rod, but I don't really think Aaron Rodgers was really the Broncos' first choice. I think it was Russ. And this is another thing I just gotta hop on, man. Everybody talking about is Russ fixable. All you gotta do is look at the last two games and some of these other games where it showed flashes. But specifically look at the game against the Chargers. Look what Russ did. That's his type of offense. That's winning football. Jay Rosberg even said that. That's winning football. They was clicking on all three phases of football. They played till the whistle blew. I mean, and everybody was all over, all around the ball, all over the ball, all around the ball. So I'm anxious, just like all of y'all. I'm anxious, just like everybody else. That's interested. I mean, I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat. Sometimes my wife will come get me at night because I'll be falling asleep on the couch, I'll be like, I'll be there, babe. I'm working. You know what I mean? I'm working, babe. I'll be there. I'm working, doing some work. I'll be there. But you know, that's just how the game is. That's how the game goes. But it has to be Harbaugh, man. Now, if they hire anybody else from would I be upset? Would I lose? Would I stop being a fan? Will I stop bringing y'all Broncos news? No, no, I would never do that because I'm a diehard Bronco fan. I believe in orange and blue. I'm a Bronco for life. DB for hell. Not in orange. But um, and then like Jim Harbaugh, he's also connected. If he doesn't bring David Shaw as his OC, he's also connected to the Ravens. OC Greg Roman. Wow. So and he could bring Vangio with him, but I doubt that. If only way I see Vangio coming with him if Ejiro gets a head coaching job, and then we don't know if Vic Fangio will come back to Denver, because that's like a demotion. But that's what he does best is a defensive coordinator. He was never cut out to be a head coach, and and 'cause they got to get this right. But um, yeah, Jim Harbaugh, he's also connected to Greg Roman. Greg Roman's a good OC. Look what he's doing in Baltimore with Lamar. He's working miracles out there with Lamar. So, but Greg Roman or even David Shaw, I'm good with, because whether it's Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh, they gonna have an all-star staff. Staff gonna be full with all-star coaches. You know what I mean? Now Sean Payton will be next week. Denver's gonna be the first team to interview Sean Payton. But to hop on Jim Harbaugh right now here, we're the only team that he's interviewing with, that he accepted interviews for. So the other one that he could accept an interview with is Indy, because he's in that Ring of Fame. And Jim Harbaugh also played for them. He was a quarterback for them, and a damn good quarterback for him, but he never won a Super Bowl with him. And that's why I think Jim Harbaugh really want to come back to the NFL, because he has unfinished business here. He wants to win a Super Bowl. And I think, hoping and praying that it's in Denver. But Sean Payton, the reason why I really don't want Sean Payton is because we would have to give up draft picks to get him. The only reason we got a first this year is because of the Bradley Chubb trade. You know what I mean? We got a first, but we ain't got a second. You know what I mean? And if Ejiro leaves to be a head coach somewhere, we'll get compensation, but we won't get that this year. We If he leaves this year, we won't even get it, because Ejiro Rivero will have to be with us for 2 years for us to get comp picks. So if Ejiro comes back and be our defensive coordinator this year, and he gets a head coaching job next year, then we'll get two third-round comp picks. But if he leaves this year to be a head coach on some other team, or whatever, we won't get no comp picks. So, but and But Sean Payton, yeah, we won't get no draft. We don't have no draft picks to to give up, especially that first that we got from San. Well, that was via a trade from Miami, but that was San Fran's pick they got from San Fran. So, but that's going to be a late first round pick. It could be. It depends on how far they go in the playoffs and if they make it to the Super Bowl. If they win the Super Bowl, it'll be number 32. But if they lose the Super Bowl, it'll be the 31st pick in the first round. So it could be from who knows what it is. And I got San Fran going to the Super Bowl. I got them going. And out of the AFC, I kind of like those Bengals. You know what I mean? Who they think they're gonna be them Bengals? I kind of like them Bengals. That's my Super Bowl picks. Everybody making Super Bowl picks, so why not me get into it? You know what I mean? Get in on it. So, but that's where I'm gonna leave y'all at. But those are only candidates that we interviewing this week. We won't interview again till probably Tuesday, which, like I said, it would be Sean Payton, and then one more update. The day we interview Sean Payton, that would be next Tuesday morning, and then right after that interview with Sean Payton, the Broncos are also going to interview Raheem Morris that same day. That's the Los Angeles Rams defensive coordinator that same day. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. And my house salute. And I'll be back here tomorrow. Might not be. I know it's probably ain't gonna be no updates, but it's still stuff that I could talk about in the whole season when it comes to football. It's always something to talk about. So I'll be back tomorrow, and I'm leaving y'all with a my high salute.